What is up, everybody? Welcome back to DVDs, Nuts, and Popcorn. I'm your host, the Physical Media Mac. Man, shout out to the girls at the register. I went up there with a few DVDs, and they said they have all new DVDs in the back. They brought out like 6 boxes. So hopefully we can find something new this week on Dollar Tree Movie Hunt Episode 9. Let's get it. All right, guys, before we get started with the pickups, I want to give a shout out to my main man, Super Duper Gaming World, my little bro. He's going through some problems at school right now, and just want to let him know my thoughts are with him. And keep your head up. You know, children can be real assholes, and I know you're going to get through it because you got a strong mind, and you're going to be all right at the end of the day. So shout out to Super Duper Gaming World. And also happy, what is it? Today's Memorial Day. So hopefully everybody had a good Memorial Day weekend. I had to work all weekend, which is all right. I'm short-staffed at work. And by the way, speaking of work, I've been at the pool area a lot at my job. Look at that tan line right there. Look how white I am. My twin brother would be proud. Tight white. Look, I'm mixed race, guys. No, I'm just messing around. All right, so, yeah, hopefully everyone's safe and make sure that, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, let's get to the pickups here. Let's start off, I guess, with some of the... So I have Dollar Tree pickups this week. I have Goodwill pickups. And I also have a Amazon pickup or Amazon purchase. And then I also have a package from Tylord Stevenson. No homo. All right, first up, let's go over this pickup right here from Dollar Tree. This is a 2009 Jackie Chan film. Now, listen, I'm the first to tell you guys, I am not a Jackie Chan guy. And I have nothing against Jackie Chan. For whatever reason, I just never got into his movies. And, I mean, I haven't even seen Rush Hour. Isn't that the movie where he's with Chris Tucker? Rush Hour, they have like Rush Hour 1, 2, 3. They made a bunch of them, right? I've never seen any of the Rush Hour movies. So that goes to show you. And I know that's like, for Americans, that's where we first found out about Jackie Chan. But, you know, in his country, he's been huge for a long time. But, yeah, this one was not well received at all. Now, don't get me wrong. I have respect for Jackie Chan. And I'm sure if I did watch his films, I'd probably enjoy them. And the thing with Jackie Chan, he's known for doing like 100% of his own stunts. Matter of fact, I think in some of his movies or a lot of his movies, his stunt work is like unbelievable. Like he literally is the craziest friggin' guy, actor. You know, you think Tom Cruise does a stunt here and there. This guy friggin' does everything from A to Z. He risked his life to do a lot of these movies, man. And so shout out to him. Jackie Chan is a badass when it comes to the stunt department. Now, this movie right here was not well received from what I hear. So, you know, why the hell I'm picking it up and I'm not even a big Jackie Chan guy. And all of a sudden I'm grabbing one of his movies that was not well liked by people. Says Jackie Chan is an undefeated kung fu master who dishes out the action in traditional Jackie Chan style. When a young boy sets out to learn how to fight from the master himself, he not only witnesses some spectacular fights, but learns some important life lessons along the way. I'll probably be giving that away. I can already foresee it. All right, let's go over my one and only Amazon pickup here. All right, so next up we have Air Rage, starring Ice-T. Yes, he's headlining in this movie. Now, I was thinking about this recently. I mean, obviously we talked about in previous videos how I'm trying to collect all the bad Ice-T movies. And I'm doing some research on his discography. And holy shit, this motherfucker's done a ton of bad movies. He might have done like 200 bad B movies. So this is not going to be an easy task collecting bad Ice-T movies. But it's definitely not something that's going to be hard to search out because they're everywhere. But anyway, it's funny because like Ice-T, everybody knows him. Obviously, he was a great rapper at some point when he was younger. And then we know him from New Jack City, which he was great in. And then he was in Surviving the Game, which is like a cult classic. I think he was in Ricochet as well with Denzel Washington and John Lithgow. And, you know, he's been in other movies, I'm sure, that were decent. But my point is, like, he's in Law and Order, I think is the name of the show. Or is it NCIS? I can't remember now. I think it's Law and Order. And he's a respected actor on Law and Order. I think he's been on there for like 2 decades. And then throughout the years, he's got to be the worst script picker of all time. He picks the worst B movies to be in. Like every single movie that he does bombs. He's literally on a run of 20 years in a row doing not bomb-ass movies, terrible-ass movies that bomb, I would say in the box office. They bomb on DVD. They bomb on streaming services. They bomb everywhere. So had to pick this one up. It's right up my alley. And so yeah, I'm not going to get too much into the plot here, guys, because it's really convoluted. But let's just say it like this. This military team breaks out of a prison transport, and they hijack this 747, and they have a ransom, right? Or they're going to kill everybody on the plane. And so the government calls, who do you think they call? I mean, in a situation like this, you got to call Ice-T, right? And that's the funny thing about this movie, too. 35 minutes into the movie, you have not even met Ice-T yet. Like, any movie that has a star, the star in the movie always, the story is like centralized around the star of the movie. This one, no, not this movie. It doesn't even do anything like that. You don't even get, once you finally meet Ice-T in the movie, they don't have any backstory on him. They don't tell you anything about his character. All you know is he's on a Black Ops military team. So anyway, they call in this military team. And like, even like after 9/11, or not, like during 9/11, when, you know, they hijacked our planes, we didn't have the technology to attach another plane to the 747 and to enter the plane. Like, this is like made up shit. So, but somehow Ice-T has the technology. They have a plane that can actually, it has like a magnet on it where you can magnetize to the 747. And then, of course, in the hull of the plane, the whole door is left open. It's unlocked. Yeah, of course. So Ice-T just in his Black Ops squad, goes through the whole door. And there's no plot and planning. They just say, okay, let's breach the main part of the plane. They go up there with guns a-blazing, and everyone on his Black Ops team gets killed, except for him. He gets shot in the kneecap, of course. And the hijackers are so dumb. The lead hijacker says, go ahead and throw everybody in the hull or the belly of the plane, which is the bottom of the plane. And no one checks for pulses. No one checks for anything to see if they're alive. Are they going to come back, get revenge, give them problems later on in the hijacking event? Nope. They just leave them in the hull of the plane, even though Ice-T only got shot in the fucking knee. So he ends up coming back, of course, with a stewardess, and it's horrible, guys. It's a terrible movie, and I like it. I actually like it. It's fun, but I don't know what to say, man. Air Rage. This is a bad film, but yeah, Ice-T's the same character as he is in like 200 of his other bad movies. No acting range showed here, as usual. Air Rage. Check it out. All right, let's go over Ty Lord's package they sent me. No homo. I watched this morning, actually. The Furies, a Shudder exclusive. This is a 2019 film. And this has been described as a Running Man surviving the game style movie. Speaking of Ice-T, right? And so there's 8 killers, and there's 8 girls that wake up in these boxes in the woods. And you have no idea what's going on. I don't really want to spoil it, so I'm not going to go too much into it. This does come with the slip cover, by the way. But the killers in this movie, I gotta admit, they look pretty badass. If you can pick up on that right there. See how they look? Really cool looking. You can see them right there on the front cover as well. And this has some really good bloody gore and practical effects in it. Really cool kills, man. There's like 3 kills in this movie that are just really solid slasher kills. And yeah, so these I think the cool idea in this movie, the concept in this movie, these 8 girls, you know, they start working together, and each one of those girls has a killer. I don't know what you'd call it. One of these killers is like on their side to a certain extent, where the killer will not kill them, but the other 7 will, if that makes any sense. The girls figure this out, that if if the girls kill one another, and some of them end up doing that, then their killer, or the other girl's killer that they kill, his head will explode and he'll die. So then they start thinking, oh wow, it's a lot easier to kill one of the girls than it is to kill these big ass men with these crazy ass masks on. So some of them start plotting, let's just kill one of our friends here, one of these girls here. That way their killer, they'll start eliminating some of the killers. So that's a real cool concept in it. By the way, RLJE, they put out some pretty good shit, man. Dollar Tree, they've been putting out some strong stuff of recent. And yeah, it's got this whole twist at the end of it. I won't tell you about, a little technology twist. I won't go into, I don't want to ruin it for you. I thought this was a good movie. It's nothing great, but it's a pretty solid stock, and it's like a stalker or slasher movie. I enjoyed it. And he sent me this factory sealed PS2 game. I don't own it for the collection, so yeah, I mean, I'll take it for sure. But Steve, next time you find, like, try to send me like Kuon factory seal. I'd appreciate it, man. Step up your game. All right, and Steve also likes to send me some shitty horror movies. Sometimes it pisses me off because it's like these collections are so bad. And I'm trying to have a cool collection. I'm trying to streamline my collection. You'll see once I have my giveaway. Not that I'm giving away bad movies. Nothing but bad movies. I'm giving away good ones and bad movies. But they're all part of the channel's history as far as what I found. So it makes sense. Anyway, so in this one right here, like I said, it's got a bunch of shitty movies that are not even going to be worth watching, I'm sure. But it does have Children of the Corn, 666, Isaac's Return, and that's what we're going to be talking about here. That movie, The Darkness, might be good. I think I've heard something about that one. But anyway, Children of the Corn is a 1999 film, Isaac's Return, part 6 in the series. Okay, so now I've seen the first 6 movies for sure, and I'm going to tell you, I'm a big fan of the series. And in this one, Isaac returns, and he is the original cult leader of the first movie, if you guys don't know. This is like 20-something odd years in the future. He was in a coma, and he awakes from the coma and then starts his, pursuit to worship the man that walks behind the rose, right? Or he who walks behind the rose. And by the way, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure this is the first time we get to see he who walks behind the rose in human form in any of the movies. So that's kind of a twist that I give away a little bit, but I mean, it's cool to see that. I actually like that part of it. Now, this is not the greatest movie in the world for sure. I'm going to say it's probably one of the weaker ones, but we're 6 movies in. It's not like this is Friday the 13th, guys. 5 was so cheesy that it was actually pretty funny. And so 5 and 6, I would say, are probably weaker than the first 4. But I still got some enjoyment out of it. It's decent. I like seeing Isaac is still real creepy, even as a grown man now. He's a little short guy. He hadn't grown hardly at all since he was a kid in the first one, which is kind of funny. But he's got that creep factor going for him still. And yeah, I'll probably check out, what is it? Darkness. It's a Miramax film. And see, I recognize that girl right there. I've seen her in movies. Wasn't she in, was she in the Sam Raimi movie, Drag Me to Hell? Wasn't she in Drag Me to Hell? Or am I getting confused? I don't know. All right, next up here. See, I don't know if Steve is sending me horrible movies on purpose or what's going on. But I tell you what, man, this is hilarious right here. So we have the La Llorona. Well, that's the movie that I watched. That's the first one. But this is the Llorona trilogy, guys. So the first movie, which is also known as, it's got a few names. The Wailer, okay? La Llorona, or La Llorona the Wailer. And it's also known as The Cry. And this is a 2005 film. And guys, there has to be like 100 La Llorona movies out there. There's even a La Llorona movie tied in very loosely with the Conjuring series. That's got the guy in it that I actually like. He was the best part of the movie. It wasn't a very good movie though. The Spanish guy who's in Training Day, when Denzel drops Ethan Hawke off at the Mexican's house, the gang's house, and they're playing poker, and the one Mexican guy is telling him about how it's like to get raped in prison. Really crazy scene, but he's a really good actor. So he was in that Conjuring Llorona, and I thought he was great in that. But other than that, the movie wasn't very good. But again, there's all kinds of Llorona movies out there. You definitely got to be careful with what you watch, because a lot of them are straight shit, I'm sure. But man, so La Llorona, the legend of La Llorona is this. It's this Mexican lady who I believe drowned her 2 children in the river, in some river, right? And then I think after she revealed that to her husband killed her. I think her husband got killed at the same time, or they killed each other or whatever. And so now La Llorona is this demon, you know, in between worlds. She roams the earth, and you can hear her desperate cries. And yeah, she's a demon. So now, again, this movie is not a great movie, but I'm telling you, this first movie, the cast of characters, the group of friends, they travel to Mexico. And they are fucking hilarious, man. Like, I really enjoyed the group of friends. There's this one scene where one of the guys, you think that he's showing off his penis to the girls, and one of the girlfriend's boyfriends is behind him. So he's looking at his back, and he's going, man, you ever seen something this big before? And the guy's like getting jealous. He's like, man, this motherfucker's showing his dick to my girlfriend. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? And then he turns around, and he has the biggest joint, like up against his pants, acting like it's his dick. This thing is like, I've never seen a joint this big. It's like a baseball bat. Like, Cheech and Chong has never smoked a joint this fat before. So they start smoking the joint and passing it around. This thing, I'm telling you, this thing is like this fucking big, man. It is the most hilarious fucking scene. And the guys are just funny, man. The chicks are funny on here. The whole cast of characters, I'm telling you, are hilarious. And it really makes the movie fun. And I'm telling you, like, literally to the 50-minute mark, you still do not, in the beginning, you see La Llorona drown the kids, and that's it. And then it's them getting drunk and high, fucking around, 50 minutes of the movie. And I literally did not get bored. I was getting there because I was like, what the fuck is going on? There's no Llorona fucking haunting them. And then the rest of the movie after that part, they're in this cabin, and Llorona's trying to get in. They're trying to defend themselves. And there's not a lot of CGI. It's all practical effects. Most of it is really laughable when you see Llorona. It's like floating around and shit. But I don't know, man. I got a soft spot in my heart for this movie, man. It's one of those movies that's so bad that's good. And yeah, man, it's not fucking that bad. La Llorona, the Wailer, I would fucking recommend it. And I'm putting this on the shelf. Now, I am assuming the next 2 movies are the worst movies of all time. They look terrible. But I'm going to have to explore them, man. I'm going to have to check them out. The Llorona trilogy. Who would have thought? I bet Steve thinks that this fucking trilogy is the worst, but actually the first one is not bad at all. Thank you. All right, let's go over. I might have triplets of some of these movies. I'm not going to lie. Let's go over my Dollar Tree pickups real fast here. I'm talking way too much again in this video. I need to get this video over with. All right, here we go. First up here, Nightmare Shark. I don't know if this, so in the video, you don't see it in the video, but I go to the register. Oh, I think I mentioned it in the beginning. I go to the register, and these two girls, I don't know if they liked me or they knew about my channel, but it was just so odd. Like, I'm there at the register. They have other people around, and they're like, hey, do you want us to go get all the new movies out the back? And I'm like, hell yeah. So they go back there. They took forever. I was like waiting in front of the door for like 5 to 10. I don't know what the fuck they were doing in the back, but finally they brought out no carts. They like literally like had all of them like on their shoulders and carrying them, all these boxes. It must have been like 9 boxes. I couldn't fucking believe it. So, you know, my, must be my charm and my dashing good looks that propelled them to go get the new movies, right? So they definitely don't know about my channel. All right, so this is a 2018 TV movie. I'm pretty sure this is a Sci-Fi Channel movie. And the premise to this movie is pretty simple, guys. It's Nightmare on Elm Street, Dream Warriors, but just replace Robert Englund or Freddy Krueger with horrible-looking CGI sharks. I did not make it past 20 minutes of this movie. The CGI is just lame. It's a newer, really bad sci-fi film, and yeah, I do not recommend this one. I do not recommend picking this up. On paper, it sounds kind of cool, you know. It's like anything goes because it's in the dream world. So sharks are coming out of cornfields, and sharks are coming out of the asphalt in the streets, and sharks are coming out of the sky, and you know, it's one of those type of films, but I did not enjoy it at all. On to the next one. All right, so we have here a 2010 film, Do Not Disturb, also known as New Terminal Hotel, which is a horrible name. This stars Stephen Jeffries. And if you don't know Stephen Jeffries, he was actually in Fright Night. He was his best friend, the main character in Fright Night's best friend. And then he went on to do 976 Evil. And after that, I don't know what the hell he did. But the dude looks good for his age, man. I mean, I couldn't believe it, man. He still looks young, no homo. Tiffany Shepis is actually in this movie as well. If you don't know Tiffany Shepis, she's been in countless friggin' horror movies. She was in Victor Crowley and Chainsaw Cheerleaders and just countless B movies. And this also has a cameo appearance by the late, great Corey Haim, guys. And this movie basically sucks. This is an RLJ movie. Again, I don't know the difference between RLJE and RLJJ. I assume the E stood for, oh, you know what? This is RLJ Entertainment. I think it's just written differently. Now I'm seeing it. Underneath it says Entertainment. So that's what that is. I thought maybe it was Enterprises and maybe they were different, but anytime you see RLJ, it's the same as RLJE. All right, now, this movie's about a book writer. I don't know. I lost interest in it. He tries to get revenge for some reason. I didn't even know it was a revenge movie at first. And he's like torturing and killing people. His book agent, I think, he's taking out he's keeping him alive on ice in the bathtub and removing parts of his body and shit. And it sounds cool, but I did not like it. I thought it was pretty boring. And but I will be keeping this because the interesting fact about this movie is this is the last feature film Corey Haim did before he, I think he overdosed, right? Before he died. So, special place in my heart. I got to keep this on the shelf just for Corey Haim. Now, Corey Haim was a shell of himself. You could probably see in the photo that I showed. Didn't even look like Corey Haim anymore. He was way past gone by the time he did this movie. And would have been cool if he had a major part in this movie. He probably just couldn't hold it together, so he only did a cameo bar appearance. And then he was like killed off for like some random scene, I think with like a center block or a brick or some shit. What's his name? Stephen Jeffries' character. This random scene. All right, that's enough of that. Next up here. Now, I saw this in drops in the past, but I passed up on it. But I'm a big fan of Ray Liotta, and rest in peace, Ray Liotta. First off, I want to say that. And you know, I've talked about him in the past. How, you know, everybody knows him from Goodfellas, right? Everybody knows him from Field of Dreams, where he was Shoeless Joe Jackson. But I love him in movies where he's a bad guy. He's the ultimate bad guy. I really love him in, what's that movie called? What is it? The Place Beyond the Place Beyond the Pines, I think it was. Man, if you have not seen that movie, go check that movie out. He is literally like, he is terrifying in that movie. He's a bad cop. He plays the best bad cop ever. Like, he is seriously fucking scary in that movie. And I feel like he takes over the film. And man, this movie right here is, it's full of great actors. Speaking of Ray Liotta, it's got Andy Garcia in it. It's got Armand DeSantis in it. Plays kind of a small role, and he's a priest in it. And Angel Garcia is he's the cartel boss who's given the cartel up to his son. And this movie is basically a cartel movie with the American government, the DEA being involved and knowing and helping the cartel and being involved in knowing what's going on with the cartel, but not doing anything, which is definitely something that's happened in our history, right? And all of a sudden, one of the cartel guys who's taken over for Andy Garcia's character, which, by the way, is Esai Morales. I really like him in movies. He's in Ozark. He always plays like a drug kingpin. He was in Paid in Full. He was a drug kingpin in Paid in Full. He was also in Bad Boys with Sean Penn, that old school prison movie. And then he was also in La Bamba. He was the alcoholic brother, which everybody talked about how great a performance. That's when everyone started knowing about him. And I always thought that he a lot of people say he outshined Richie Valens in that. Not Richie Valens. Who was Richie Valens? Lou Diamond Phillips. But I thought Lou Diamond Phillips was just as good in La Bamba as Esai Morales. But Esai Morales is a badass actor. I love him in everything that he's in. So great cast of stars in this one. But it's funny because, let me finish what I was saying. So Esai Morales' character takes over the cartel, and he decides to do business with Afghani terrorists. So now the government, the DEA, is like, nah, fuck that. You're dealing with terrorists now. So after like 9/11 and shit, they don't want terrorists having free reign to go through the channels that are the U.S. routes that the cartel delivers cocaine through. So Esai Morales' character works a deal out with these terrorists, these Afghani terrorists, for heroin, so that they have access to these routes. And we don't want, obviously these terrorists coming into our country. So the DEA, it's a little convoluted. There's a lot to explain in this movie. But the DEA hires bounty hunters, which is, I was about to say Lou Diamond Phillips, Ray Liotta's character. He's a bounty hunter in the movie to kill the cartel leaders. But there's a lot more to the movie than that. But the funny thing about this movie is all those great actors, and who blows me away in this movie, Bruce Davidson, who plays a corrupt DEA guy in the movie. I thought he was just awesome in it. Smoking cigars, saying all kinds of offensive shit to the cartel. He's just a slimy DEA corrupt agent. And I'm looking at his Wikipedia, and funny enough, I'm thinking he's going to be in all these amazing movies, right? Because he's such a great actor. And they list him most notably as being in the original Willard, the Rat movie, and now I'm collecting Rat movies, so I thought that was funny. He's in, I think it's a 1973 Rat movie. He's Willard in that movie. Of course, it was redone by Crispin Glover many years later. They had a remake to that, but I just thought that was funny. He's great in the movie, and Ray Liotta's great in the movie. This is a solid cartel movie, man. It really is. I really enjoyed it. And a spoiler coming up here. You can fast forward through this if you want. But Ray Liotta's character passes away in the end of the movie. It's a very touching moment. And I'm thinking, wow, what a perfect movie to watch after he actually passes away in real life. It's just, I don't know. It's real touching. So you got to check that one out just for that. All right, now, get a sip of diesel fuel here. I don't know if there's anything new in this drop, to be honest with you. Possibly this? I can't remember if this was in drops before. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. And speaking of Ray Liotta, guys, when I was doing some research on Ray Liotta, I came across this YouTube clip of him on the Tonight Show. And they're playing some game. It's him and J-Lo, of all people, right? And they're playing some game where they ask them all these hard questions and they can take it or pass. And the Tonight Show guy asked him who's the most under or overrated actor in the 80s and 90s. And guess who he says? Clint Eastwood. Now, he might have had a little too many drinks that night. You could tell he was a little tipsy. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Is Clint Eastwood an underrated actor or overrated actor? But anyway, this is an absolute classic. $1.25 for this, a $1.25 Bush, dropping The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I'm all over it. Had to pick this up. If I had 10 copies of this, I'd pick this up. Sergio Leone. Blu-ray and DVD, man. Steal right there. I probably have triplets of this at this time, guys, but I picked this up for people that need them, man. I've already talked about these movies in the past, so I'm not going to talk about these again, but these are awesome right here to pick up at your $1.25 Bush. Check them out. All right, moving on to my Goodwill pickups. These are all $2 a piece. You know, I question myself when I pick up stuff like this. I'm not really big into picking up old, black and white films. And I'm pretty sure, I think The Terror is black and white. I could be wrong. Oh, wow, I didn't even know The Terror was, you know what, I need to check this out. It's a Roger Corman movie. I had no clue. And it's got a young Jack Nicholson and Boris Karloff. I need to check that out. I'm not a huge old school fan, but I was born in the 70s, so I realize, trust me, I know how many great 70s horror movies there are. I want to say The Terror was in the 60s, though. And I'm not a big 60s fan. You know what? Maybe it was in the 70s. But for sure, this Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee movie, Dracula, The Satanic Rites, was a 70s film. And I absolutely adore Christopher Lee and why am I forgetting his name? I just said it. And Peter Cushing, man. They're the ultimate. I love them in Dracula movies. They've been in so many great Dracula movies. Christopher Lee might be the greatest Dracula of all time. I mean, let's face it, man. The guy is awesome. So, The Terror, Dracula, The Satanic Rites. I take everything back that I just said. I don't question picking this up at all. I think it's really, really dope. And I'll be checking these out, and I'll let you guys, we'll talk about these in a future video. All right, so I finally watched Jeepers Creepers 3. This is a 2017 film that was not very well received, guys. I think it helps going into this one knowing that because I had no fucking clue. Knowing that within the Jeepers Creepers storyline, this takes place before part 2. So you got to know that. Like, even at the end of this movie, one of the last scenes of the movie, the kid is getting onto the school bus, the famous school bus that you see at the beginning of part 2. So this is a prequel to the to the second movie. Jonathan Beck returns as the Creeper. I love the continuity with that. He's been in all 3 films, and he's awesome, man. It's like, Robert Englund being Freddy Krueger. I mean, that's how synonymous he is. Like, what's my boy Pinhead? Fuck, I can't think of my boy Pinhead right now. But anyway, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so a lot of people's beef with this movie is the truck. The truck is so iconic from the first movie. And now in this movie, they turn it into like a Batmobile, James Bond car. You know what I'm saying? It's got all these weapons, and, it's probably more deadly than the Creeper himself. And a lot of it's too over the top. The spears coming through the tailpipes is just ridiculous. And then there's some other shit that looks like it's from like a video game. It drops like these balls, like almost like it's from Metroid or some shit. It's insane, the shit that they do with the truck. I do like the spikes when the doors shut on the truck. They should have just kept it to that, and I would have been fine with it. But I don't have that. I don't have it doesn't ruin the movie for me. My problem with this movie is very simple, guys. There is too much daylight in this movie with the Creeper. It's like the iconic movie Jaws. You don't really get to see the shark until the end of the movie, right? In this movie, like 90% of the movie, it's bright as fuck, and you're getting to see the Creeper up close and personal in broad daylight. It's like, you gotta have some scenes where he's in the dark. So it just takes from the film from me. Now, credit to them, how good he looks and stuff. They get away with it. It's passable. But again, I would like to see some more scenes at nighttime. I mean, that's what they did in 2. That's what they did in 1. So they just completely went away from that. Some of the dialogue in this movie is horrible. The CGI, there's a lot of bad CGI in this movie that really hurts the movie. I still like parts of this movie. I think it's okay. It's not great or anything, but it's decent addition to the collection. Is it better than 1? No, of course not. Is it better than 2? I don't know, man. It's kind of a toss-up. I actually remember liking 2 better, but I need to watch 2 again because I haven't seen 2 in a long time. But the Creeper is awesome, man. Just a really cool monster. All right, 3 more movies and I'm gonna let you guys go. So I've been on a roll picking up these and finding like solid movies, at least 1 movie per collection, and I'm okay with that. If I can find one that's hard to find on individual DVD releases, like The Trunk, like Deaden, and the Most Wanted pack that you've seen in the video earlier, I'm good with that. This one, I've done some research on it. I haven't physically watched any of these movies. I started to watch one of them, and it was so bad I had to turn it off. And the reviews are just horrible on these movies. This might be a collection that I failed on. I don't think I'm going to be able to find anything good in this. I started to watch Silent Sam. Let me know in the comments below if you guys have seen any of these movies, and if you recommend any of these movies. I'll watch it and talk about it in the next video. We have Killing Down, The Scratch, Raging Inferno, The Lawless, Street Revenge, Emulation, Murder on the Border, Silent Sam, Circle of Fury, and Templar Nation. These come on 2 disc. So yeah, they're very condensed. They probably don't look the best, I'm assuming, because of them being condensed onto 1 disc like that, or 2 disc. All right, I might include this in the giveaway. I don't see any of these movies being any good as well. The only movie that stands out to me is Killjoy 2, which is so bad that it's good. One of those type of films. And so 8 movies, the Midnight Collection. We have The Devil's Daughter. It says Tales from the Crypt presents Ritual. So I don't know if that's tied to the Tales from the Crypt series. I might have to check that one out. Venom, Bleeding Rose, The Devil's Hand, Netherworld, which I think is also Charles Band, as well as Killjoy 2. And then Witchcraft 13. Holy fuck, there's 13 of those movies? Didn't I pick up like Witchcraft 1, 2, and 3? I believe so. I cannot believe they're at 13. Those movies must be terrible. But yeah, if you have not seen the Killjoy series, they're funny as hell. 1, 2. See, these are condensed as well into 4 on each. So I don't imagine those. There might be some quality issues on those as well. But yeah, I might give this away in the giveaway. I already own the Killjoy trilogy. And if I can't find anything else on there, I was hoping Netherworld would look good, but the trailer alone on it looks terrible. So, again, I don't know what's up on this Ritual movie. Yeah, it is actually Tales from the Crypt. It has the same font on there as the actual. That's actually pretty interesting. So, Tales from the Crypt. Yeah, it's Miramax. See if it says how long it is. 106 minutes. So it is pretty short. Tales from the Crypt, was that an hour? I think that was like a 30-minute show, though. I'm confused. I don't know. All right, last but most certainly not least, man. I was so happy to find this at Goodwill, guys. I had not, number one, I've not seen any of these movies. I didn't even know who Andy Sidaris is. So apparently this Andy Sidaris guy produced, I think he was a producer. He produced all of these B movies between 1985 and 1998, and they were labeled Bullets, Bombs, and Babes, or otherwise known as Bullets, Bombs, and Breasts. So it is the Andy Sidaris collection, a 12-film set, and make no mistake about it, all 12 films are sexploitation at its finest. And they went out and hired Playboy Playmates, Penthouse Pets to act in these movies. So some of the finest women in the world star in these movies. Every movie seems to have a similar plot where it's like kind of like Charlie's Angels, females that are secret agents, and like the only one that I saw so far is Savage Beach. And let me read the synopsis on that. 2 female government agents transporting a vaccine are forced to land their plane on a remote island that houses more than palm trees and sandy beaches. A sunken WW-2 Japanese ship containing a fortune of gold is located nearby, and the island is now the base for a nefarious group searching for it. So just nothing but cheesy acting, literally like half of the movie, sex scenes, women in jacuzzis with their breast out. Like, this is definitely a guy's type of collection here. Not all women will like this for sure. And yeah, man, sexploitation, breast exploitation, breast-tactic. What am I trying to say? This is one of the breast movies that I've ever seen. This is a breastacular collection of films. These movies are funny, man. So I've only saw Savage Beach. There's another one called Return to Savage Beach, which I definitely have to check that one out. I got the feeling these movies are going to be a lot of fun. Really cool collection to find at Goodwill for $2. Check it out, guys. Just really quick here, guys, I wanted to go over, I forgot to tell you what movies were in this collection. We have Dallas Connection, or The Dallas Connection, Day of the Warrior, Do or Die, Enemy Gold, Fit to Kill, Guns, Hard Hunted, Hard Ticket to Hawaii, Malibu Express, Picasso Trigger, and like I mentioned, Savage Beach and The Return to Savage Beach. All right, that's it. Thanks for checking out the video. Again, hopefully you guys have had a great Memorial Day weekend. Shout out to my man, Super Duper Gaming World again. And hopefully you guys can find whatever you're looking for as far as physical media out there in the wild. Good luck to you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.